Yeah. All right, we're live.
Yep.
Ooh,
Hello.
it's live.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. Play the intro.
Kapper is with us, our Lord and Master, the person who started this whole mess. The reason, one of the founding moves, the reason that the Dorito Illuminati behind everything.
Are those official Doritos?
Correct. I know.
They're pronounced Doritos here.
Ah,
Hang on, I've got a feedback loop. I'm losing my game. Hang on. I can hear myself. Right, I'm done. Thank God. Sorry. Right. Yeah, you're listening to Let's Drone Out, and you are joined by Adam Juniper.
Hello.
hey Adam.
Jay Chitko.
G'day. Hello, everyone.
NJ
Jay.
Tech.
Good evening.
NJ.
Hey.
And Chad Kapper.
Hello.
Hey, hello, welcome, and thank you everyone who's waited patiently. We are late
As
because
always.
of Chad Kapper. Was
No.
it good meeting?
No, we're late, and we're late because of Chad Cap. You've got to add them together.
Yes.
Yeah. Shh. So, right. So let's start the show.
What are we talking
How
about
have you been? Well, lots of things really. I haven't chatted to you for a while. I wanted to catch up, see what you've been up to since the last little, because everyone was a little bit confused because like I was doing a little solo interviews and like really intimate, and you were one of the people I wanted to chat to. And then I thought, hang on, you actually haven't been on a proper Let's Drone Out.
Oh,
So
oh wait, yeah, I have, haven't I?
not a well, I mean, yeah, kind of. The first Rotor Riot one, but not
Yeah.
this format with the
Okay.
screen and
Right.
people live and they can ask you questions and there's a chat. There's a link. I can send you the link if you want.
Oh, you
there's
want
like-
me? Let me share the link. Where's the link to share?
Okay, hang on.
I don't know.
Is it live?
Yeah. It is
Yeah,
live.
but you will need to mute the audio, else you'll get some strange feedback and
Ah.
monkeys.
And I'll Facebook it to you. Hang on. Yeah, we're just a little bit out of sorts at the moment. How have you been finding the hobby? You've had a lot of Rotor Riot stuff to deal with. You took one of your videos down. There's loads of stuff to talk about. Loads of stuff has happened.
Yeah, I don't know how to. I can proactively give you an overview, but as far as any of the other things, if you just want to ask questions, I'll answer any of them.
Well, just tell us what you've been up to recently. You were in a meeting. Was the meeting good? What was the meeting about?
Yeah. The meeting was with my lawyer, just getting some of the business stuff taken care of. So for those of you that don't know, I had purchased Rotor Riot from the company that I had actually joined. If I back up to 2014, I sold flight tests to Lauren International, and I also joined Lauren International. And during my time there, I created a movie called Rotor DR1, and then created This is one of the recreated props made by Michael Anthony. It's not distressed or anything. Doesn't have any, the final paint job, but yeah. And then
Wow.
With Trump in charge, it won't take long to get a post-apocalyptic kind of look to that item.
At least your manufacturing will be in the same country. Yeah.
Boy, this went political real fast.
It's still a world discussion as we still shake our head in disbelief somewhat.
So you bought Rotor Riot from the oil tycoons. Is that
it's rubber manufacturer, extruded rubber manufacturer is kind of their mainstay, but it's a really great company. I mean, they have grown flight tests more and faster than I could have, but with Rotor Riot, it was a little more less conservative, I guess is probably the best way to say it. And it was just probably a better fit to be independent. So so I had made the purchase at the end of December and still getting some paperwork and that taken care of.
Are you reading the chat? Shush. Oh no, Chad's no good at ignoring the chat.
No, I'm watching the
Okay,
chat.
I'll shut up. For those who can't see, I was telling Jack off for not muting while he was eating Doritos.
Earlier, I know. I haven't eaten it. Have I eaten any since the show started? I haven't, have I? I've been drinking soy milk. So
no, you've been eating Doritos.
Yeah, earlier before the show, I've been eating Doritos.
So. Yeah, so we've been, making episodes and trying to get things in order, and it's going to be an exciting year.
Mad, that's crazy, man. It's all good. Like, can I just ask though, were they a little bit like, yeah, sure, please buy it off us because you guys are going to get us into trouble? You know, drink and droning, diving down buildings, being on fire. You know, like. You know, keeping little slave David Winderstalls in your basement. You're a bad man, Chad. You're a bad man.
Very, very bad. So now I'm only responsible to myself and my wife. Mostly my
son as well.
Yeah, well, he's the responsible one.
True,
he's way more responsible than I am.
Oh man. Oh wow. I mean, how is Rotor Riot going? Because like. I've noticed that I don't know whether I want to go down this line, but like, man, the hobby has changed.
We all ruined it.
I'm not saying hashtag the hobby's ruined. I'm saying like for some bizarre reason, like alarm bells should have started ringing in my head because when I went to the UK drone show, Jay, I got you into the UK drone show. Adam, I bought you water in the UK drone show. And NJ Tech, I think I had a hug off you, and I never saw you ever again.
I didn't see you, Jack. Actually, you went off and scurried into a little hole somewhere.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was just like interviewing people. But when I went over to the, don't quote me on this because they're probably going to really shout at me. But the who are those guys? The CAA. They're your version. They're our version of your FAA.
Right.
And I sat chatting to them, and I was like, "Hey man, how you going? How you finding this? You guys stressed out?" And they were like, "Nope, we've got rubber ducks." And they had like a big pond, pool, kids pool, and it was full of rubber ducks with the little eyelet holes that you hang pictures with. And I was like, "Okay." And then he handed me a stick, and he was like, "All right, grab a duck." And I grabbed one, and it was 8. And I grabbed another one, and it was like 52. And I thought, oh, well, I haven't won a prize. And I did. I won a stick of rock. There's a stick of rock around here somewhere.
Is that because it came to less than 400 feet?
Yeah.
That was it, wasn't it? Rubber ducks and safety meters or safety feet.
What?
Yeah. And then I started chatting.
That's what happens when you have a government-sponsored pile of money in order to promote things. You don't have to worry too much about how much you're spending. Let's get some rubber ducks. Yeah, sure. Let's get some rubber ducks. Fine.
I just like to point out, he's the one saying that, not me. I love the CAA. And I would just like to remind everyone that because Tony's not here, this week's episode is sponsored by Chicken Cottage. But yeah, so anyway, we're talking to the CAA. The CAA, we're chatting to them, and they were like, yeah, everything's fine, everything's going great in the world. And I was like, you what? And they were like, yeah, you guys are like policing yourselves and like dobbing each other in and like, you know, writing messages. They see a video and they're like, oh my God, what the hell are they doing? And they scroll down to leave a comment on your YouTube channel being like, what are you doing? And then they see about 20 other comments from everyone else. Like, so they're like, yeah, you're doing a great job. You're policing each other. You're spreading the word, giving out information. And they thought the ESA was gonna, you know, like clamp down and totally. That was hashtag ruin the hobby. It was like, what was?
Well, the other thing the CAA did was they were instrumental in getting the NATS app set up. So if you want to go droning, you just pop open an app, say I'm here, and local aviation will keep out of your way, which seems to be a very sensible way of doing things, as long as you stick under 400 feet.
Is it kind of like pedestrians where they get the right of way?
It's sort of, yeah. You have an app, and assuming it's not an area that's already marked as, not allowed, like nuclear installation, this, that, and the other, near an airport or anything like that, then you can just say, I'm going to be here for a bit. And
it sounds like Tinder for quads or something. Very, very bizarre.
Well, that is the other side of it, isn't it? Yeah. You can meet some other slightly unwashed men in a field.
Just be interesting to see where the focus of this lands. But I do, yeah, it's an interesting idea. It's good people are thinking a little bit outside the box.
I mean, I was going to say, like, our Lord and Master, our sort of version of Chad Kapper is Dom Robinson, and he's managed to get the Hidden Valley Flying Park listed as a no fly. Is that right, Jay? You would know. You pay attention and like read stuff. Is it down on the thing as like a no fly zone?
It's down as a spot to fly now. Actually, on the NATS flying sort of map to say, yeah, it's one of those spots to fly, and I think that's quite important. He's very instrumental in setting that up with the farmer down there, and it's a place full of love. And I can only think we're going to start having to see more of these places as we get outlawed into the countryside. So
yeah,
I think what we need is really a model of how to make it work from a business point of view.
Yeah,
to open it up for more people to say, yeah, okay, I can do that. I know how to get the insurance and things like that, because often it's getting the insurance and how do you run it? Do you run it as a company who's liable? So I think it's good that it was the first sort of dedicated UK flying site in that sense that moves away from the club idea. But we just need more of them now. Jack's still drinking his soy milk. Glug, 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 glug.
No, I'm not. I'm picking my nose. No, I was waiting for you to finish. Carry on.
Well, I mean, I know there's been a few other people trying to start up similar things, but there's all the legal sort of hurdles to jump over often, mainly around insurance, because that's the biggest one to just get around. Once you can insure that, then we'll have more of these flying sites. But I think a lot of the community dislike the whole idea of flying clubs because they're usually run by a lot of older people and they have their own set of rules, and they look down on these aircraft. I don't know why they do. And so I think it's good that there's something else we can have. Maybe it's going to be a move towards more trends where people can start learning the right way, because I think since we've had the multi-rotors, a lot of people bypass the safety aspect because they just learn in the backyard. They can hover it in the backyard. They go down to the park, they fly it. And I think these sites can actually allow it to be a lot easier to implement into our airspace by having it where people can learn and actually helping out in the community sense. Jack, when are you opening
So what Jay's saying, Chad, is if you want to ruin the hobby for England, try harder.
Well, we're going to try much harder.
2017 to not eat my words. That was a joke. It was like ha ha ha. It's probably we're probably going to get.
I think our audience have got our sense of humor by now, or left.
Yeah, I think ruining the hobby has pretty much just become a term for having too much fun.
Yeah.
Does having too much fun mean vomiting up rainbows? Because like, like what the hell are you on about?
I still owe Steele $100. I told them $100 goes to the first person that vomits on camera.
No way, really?
And he wasn't trying to vomit. He sincerely took in more than his body could handle.
He doesn't drink at all, does he?
No.
I don't think.
No.
Which is weird. How do you have that conversation with someone who doesn't drink?
How what?
He's just like, I need you to do this for me.
Well,
how did you manage to get him to drink? Is that it? Is that all it took?
No,
Because
they're a great group of guys that are usually. I mean, I took them to a radioactive wasteland. We went. That also the country actually has some conflict with Russia, and
more coming.
We've gone all over, and I don't know. We've tried a lot of stuff. We went to a gun range, where Carlos was quite nervous. But I don't know.
Guy.
They have a lot of trust, I guess.
I guess you'd like taking these people out of their comfort zones, don't you? Here, drink this. Here, do that. We'll take action.
Here, drink this. It's 3% less than a lethal dose.
Well, I didn't drink any.
Lucky he doesn't smoke. I'm sure he's like flammable after that. Do you know what I mean? Those guys are like, oh my word. Yeah. So, have you got any advice to anyone who does want to start up their own YouTube channel?
Well, yeah. I get that question all the time. Make content people want to watch, and it sounds like a really, really basic step, but the problem is people just make something they're excited about. Well, sometimes other people are excited about that, but most of the time they're not. So with Flight Test, I just made the show that I wanted to watch, and it just so happened there was a bunch of people like me, so it worked. Rotor Riot, again was I think a further refinement of what got me excited about the hobby. One of my first aircraft was it was a 12-inch propellers, and it was an Arducopter built from scratch, and it was a beast. And I was trying to hover it in my basement whilst it was chained to the floor. That was in 2010. So as multi-rotor technology increased, we moved up to wood booms and stuff like that, and it just keeps going and getting better. But the problem is, I can't fly anything like these guys. So while I can appreciate the technology and the abilities, I can't fly like that.
As in, you don't want to fly like that, surely.
My signal is rubbish.
I would love to be able to fly like they do. I just can't. I don't have the reaction time. Hand-eye coordination. I fly my...
Surely you were brought up on video games like the rest of us. Surely you've got...
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I can get through the level, but I can't be the rock star, So I fly my 5-inch Alien like a wing. I love, proximity, long flights, scenery. I like, that's what I like. Have you guys seen Gabe 707?
Yeah.
The stabilized flights that he's doing?
Did he do the one in Hollywood down the boulevard or something?
Well, I haven't seen that one. No, here
where he takes 4K. Oh, no, maybe I'm talking about something else. This is where it's just 4K and then he stabilizes it post.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's the stuff that. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I take it that's one of them.
Yeah. Here's the link. That's the stuff that I get jazzed about. I think that stuff is so fun. The reason I like it is it's capitalizing on somebody's skill, the technology, hardware, software, art. Like, it just has it all combined. And not that some of the other stuff and the freestyle stuff isn't like that, but when I saw that video, it popped, and I love that.
It looks like that bit in Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
There's quite a good, you can get quite good cinematic shots from that style of flying, which you can't often achieve, which is just moving a tripod around the sky, like a lot of the other aerial platforms. And I'm lucky enough to have my commercial license, and I was just thinking the other day, thinking about his videos, and it was particularly that Hollywood Boulevard one, and just thinking, actually, some of your shots, you wouldn't want to fly a larger rig through, through a small gap or anything, but it can create such a better cinematic shot flying like you'd fly FPV, I think. It's the software that backs it up. makes it all possible.
Hey, how are there only 37 listeners and a thumbs down? Who is that?
That's Tony. I think he's quit now. Live on air, he quit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sent me
he
a
wasn't actually
photo
on here.
message
I think he
like
felt a
that.
little left out. So that's why he says, I'm taking my ball home. And that's probably the thumbs down. We love you, Tony, if you're listening.
Well, we don't want anybody to feel bad or left out.
No, but I don't think I think there's a general rule.
Unless they're the person who did the
video,
thumbs down.
video, even if
feel
someone's
terrible.
handing out cash on YouTube, gets a thumbs down. Every single video will have at least one thumbs down after.
Yeah, I think we have 7 that are consistent.
What, people that go thumbs down each time?
Yeah, every single one of our videos, I don't think there's any less than 7 thumbs down.
Wow.
Yeah,
Most people hate it that they didn't make it. That's why. And
there's definitely one person who's got it in for me. There's like this one, just like
Yeah,
one
but I
little,
haven't-
you know.
I haven't given you a
Jackson
thumbs down
did.
yet, Jack.
Yeah. I knew you.
we might get 2 tonight.
I'm sure it is Tony. You're not doing your job right if you haven't got a thumbs down. Chad, I've put a link to the show right now, and there's a live chat there, so you can say hello to everyone. I don't know whether you have done. Yep.
Let me see here.
Which is not at all confusing.
Oh, check that out. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, so you pause that, and then or mute it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and then there's loads of questions. Like there's.
Oh, look at all that! Look at all those people.
I know we've been
That way you
ignoring
can
them.
cut us out of the whole thing.
We should give a massive hello
Yeah.
to everyone that we see. So from Shrika, Zero FPV, John McCleggan, Sundance Squid. And a few people have posted some questions, which we'll get to in a bit if you like, or we can answer some questions now.
Okay, so you guys guide me.
Struggling.
Yeah. Sundance asked if there's going to any potential of a Rotor DR1 sequel.
Can I be in it?
Because
I look homeless.
Jack, definitely. But when, I don't know. Probably not this year. Definitely not this year.
Why? Because your wife will leave you.
In the pipeline, though?
That project was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Have you managed to get both feet back on the stool after that?
Yeah. We're back up and going. But that was a mammoth task, and yeah, it was definitely a tough one.
I've got a question.
Yes.
You know that octocopter down by your feet?
Well, it's a hexacopter, this one?
Yeah, Hexy. Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the original one from the Anycopter?
No, it's probably David built the first hexacopter from the Anycopter, and this was my build based on his. This was my version of what he built. I just refined it a little more.
I'll tell him you said that.
What's funny? It has the RC Manchild motors on it.
I did email him earlier on in the week and asked if he could come on, and he was like, "No, I can't. I'm sorry."
Why?
And that's it. I don't know. I ain't got a clue. I think he thought I was someone else, because like,
well,
for anyone who's ever received an email from me, my email comes up as James Cooper. So. Like, because I was gonna like do a load of naughty flying, and then I saw the light, and then I decided I'll actually be a good boy because I don't actually want to ruin the hobby or go to prison and get bummed.
Hold on.
And this NJ texts up for some bumming.
Well, this is late for him. What is it? It's like 10 o'clock for him.
No, he's only an hour ahead of me. Yeah, 10 o'clock. Yeah, I suppose. And it's cold. I think he's high.
You think what?
Well, I think we've lost Jack. I think I think people weren't taking kindly to what he was saying.
There he is. What did you say, Jack?
What, me?
Yeah, you had a little disappearance.
Yeah, he said, I think something, and we didn't hear.
I need a little bit more than that.
All right, don't worry. Moving on.
Sorry. My internet connection's so bad, I'm struggling. It's so...
I've got a question for Chad, actually.
Jay?
Yes.
So you strike me as someone who's enjoyed kind of putting all the components together and amalgamating these projects like Flight Test and sort of bringing them to fruition. And obviously you've done that with Rotor Riot as well as Flight Test. It's a new year, 2017. What's your plan? Have you got something in the pipeline that you want to give us a little pointer towards?
Well, I mean, Rotor Riot, the plan next is to give the guys a lot more control. So right now, Tommy is head of operations, so he's calling the shots, and I'm supporting him. And so that might not sound like a lot publicly, but internally, you know, that's a really cool thing to be able to start, you know, transitioning control over to the guys. You know, we did that at Flight Test with Josh, but you know, it took 2.5 years before we got to that point where now we're a year in and we're starting that transition. One thing I would really like to do is start involving more of the community, you know, getting more community collaboration within Rotor Riot and featuring more pilots. You know, one thing, actually, and I'll let the cat out of the bag. It's been a week or two now, but like Luke Bannister, he's been a moderator in our Facebook group, and people don't even know. But I love.
Do now.
I know. he's gonna get upset that I told everyone. But I love that collaboration. I love that we're such a global, completely spread out around the globe, but we're such a tight-knit community. And I want to do more things that incorporate that. I want to continue to grow that bond. You know, my mission from day one, I actually registered the name Rotor Riot and had this mission in place before even meeting the guys that were on the show. And this was back in like April of 2015. I knew that this space was going to be something, but I didn't know what. There's no way to really predict what it was going to be. But I knew that eventually money was going to find its way here and sponsors and everybody. And I was afraid it would start to change the culture. And if the culture isn't gelled and doesn't have like a rally point, it can very easily get dispersed or disbanded because, you know, quite frankly, you know, we as people and social groups, there's no real structure to a social group. So we just fall victim to whatever structure is introduced. So what I wanted to do was create that rally point and say, hey, this is, you know, if you see, I don't have the logo, but it's on my phone, I guess. You know, if you see that logo, it means something, and it means, you know, our culture. It doesn't have a specific name. You know, Rotor Riot is what we go by, but I want it to represent the pilots and the people that have created this culture and come from RC. And there's just a uniqueness about it that, you know, it's hard to describe, but I wanted to help and apply any marketing abilities that I had to the culture rather than just a corporate entity that, you know, enters the space. So I probably rabbit trailed a little bit, but, you know, I want to keep on that mission. I'd love to build out like a training center where pilots can come and train other pilots. It'll be kind of the Rotor Riot headquarters. You know, we want to do some things like build the fastest drone in the world. That's Tommy's project that he's working on. I've got a little project of my own that I've wanted to build for 3 years called the Quad Tuner, which is just a standalone box that allows you to tune whatever quad you're using without having to load, you know, drivers on your computer or your phone or.
I actually already have one of those.
What is it?
It's called NJ Tech. Sometimes it fits into a small box, but not always. But
let's find random.
No, that's a good
outside
idea,
my doorstep. I know who they're from. Tune me like a little homeless thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the concept is that it works with all, you know, Beta Flight, Clean Flight, KISS. And the really great thing about developing products like that, you know, from the center of the community is you get buy-in, you know. So a company like Flyduino said, you know, because they're closed, that right away they said, sure, we'll help with that, you know, and I love that. I love that, you know, when you can bring the community together to enhance the community.
I think it's from the community point of view, there's so much to learn. If you're starting from scratch, I mean, your electronics, your software, your programming, your flight characteristics, the whole build, there's so much to actually try and put together. And yet there's so many experts in the various fields in the community that it's always good when you can achieve so much more from having the community than what you would have just trying on your own, you know, on your own things. You're
absolutely right. I mean, that's it. And that's what I get so jazzed about. I love creating. I love helping people create. You know, I'm kind of the guy that's not great at anything, but I can get competent at a lot. And so you know, I'm not the guy that gets the high score or, you know, any of that. So the next best thing is empowering people that can. And I wouldn't even say it's the next best thing. In my book, I would say it is the best thing. There's nothing that makes me happier than seeing somebody exceed their own expectations.
I need you as some sort of life coach.
Yeah, I think you're being entirely too modest, Chad.
Wow.
Well, I enjoy creating, you know, something for people to gather around. But, you know, even like Rotor Riot, people ask, well, what are you creating? It's really more of unveiling, because I'm not creating the culture. The culture's already here, but it can't be heard if it doesn't have a mouthpiece. And, you know, otherwise it's just noise.
It's more than just also the helping people to create. I think it's inspiring people. I mean, and that circular wing for a start. I don't know how many people have been inspired to build one of those from that, you know, and I think that's one thing that often people forget, that they actually are going to inspire other people to take ideas forward. And
you mean the snowball circular wing? Oh
yeah,
no! The circle
the one
plane.
You actually fly through and everything. Yeah. I mean, but
Peter.
that's just one example, though. And there's, you know, like I think being inspired to be a better pilot or inspired to create a better, you know, whatever. It's just, I think the inspiration is often forgotten about. And
oh yeah, I mean, education, inspiration, and entertainment are always the three tenets that, you know, I try to incorporate into everything. And the way I've always described it is entertainment breaks down the walls and opens people up. The education gives them some tools to do something with, and the inspiration gets them off the couch. And, you know, if you have that formula, it's amazingly powerful.
Yeah. I don't
I've got
tumbleweed. Everyone's making notes, like scribbling it down. That's my secret to success.
Chad, would it sour our friendship if I got that tattooed on Tony?
Not at all.
Tony's
please.
He's not here to defend himself. I can't help it. Which Gucci FPV asks, which did you enjoy more, starting flight test or Rotor Riot?
Oh,
that's like
your
picking
children
one of
his
your favorite
favorite.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're different. They're really different, because flight test was started because
they actually listen to you, and then Rotor Riot, they're just like animals, wild animals.
No, hold on. So yeah, if I were to be very accurate and honest, flight test was just started because of my hobby, and I was just passionate about my hobby, and I wanted to make a show. I wanted to make a show I wanted to watch. And then the rest we kind of figured out from there, where Rotor Riot was intended to serve. Hold on, I'm not explaining this well. So flight test was
Am I putting you off?
Flight test was almost started accidentally. I mean, I wanted to create a show, and I would hope that it would be popular. And it, you know, really, I wanted to get a bunch of free stuff, and you know, and that was fun. And then free
stuff. You wanted to hornswoggle David into living with you to build you stuff.
Yeah, I wanted somebody to build the stuff that I wanted. No, so we we did this and had fun, but then along the way you found out, wow, we're really impacting people, and people are being inspired. And then at that point you're like, oh wow, this is a little more serious than I originally intended. So Rotor Riot was started with that vision in place. So we knew that if we're doing what we're doing properly, we were going to be inspiring people. So they started with a little bit different mindsets, even though they're very similar models, but they're also different crowds. There's about a 50% overlap, but there's also 50% of Rotor Riot that would never watch Flight Test and 50% of Flight Test that would never watch Rotor Riot. So, so hopefully that I explained it. I love them both the same.
Yeah, but that's the right answer.
Very, very diplomatic there. I love all my children equally.
Except for that one.
Except I sold one of them and bought the other one.
Yeah, well, I look at it as it went off to college.
Ran amok, yeah.
By the way, you're adopted.
Yeah.
Your father's Jesus, not me. Oh man, that is funny. Hang on, let's find another question.
Somebody said, I remember you putting up a video just before Flight Test, nearly losing it in the fog, Chad. Take me back. Oh, what do you want to know? So my early flights, the first time that we had low-lying clouds / fog, and I went out and flew FPV, I remember I'll never forget, my thumbs were trembling. I can't even get them to move in the way that they were trembling. And I remember,
try harder. Come on, keep trying.
Yeah, I remember.
That's what.
I remember thinking, why am I was in the Marine Corps and I flew in helicopters and and things like that. And I thought I was never
killed people, blew
nervous.
Shit up.
Yeah, like holding a grenade, like a live grenade. Like I was never that nervous, and it blew my mind that I got $300 in electronic parts up in the sky flying remotely, and I'm trembling, and but that was also when I just knew I was hooked. I'm like, okay, so every morning I would get up and I would look outside, and if the weather was great, I'd go fly. I would rush home from work to go fly, and then as soon as it got dark, I'd go in the basement till 2 a.m. building. I mean, yeah, so it's definitely an addictive hobby.
Yeah,
sure is.
Oh, man,
More addictive than playing with grenades.
What?
Yeah. More addictive than playing. Yeah, I just want to remind you, Adam, that when you stare into the eyes of Chad, he's a cold killer.
Yeah. No,
I've never
unsettled by that fact.
I've never killed anyone that I know of.
But he has the training.
Yeah. Time is a relatively new concept in Ireland too. Fastest quad in the world. Can't wait to hear more about that.
Yeah, ask Tommy about it. How many health checks happened after Chernobyl? Well, I haven't told anybody this, so here, I'll give you some news. There's a little spot right there. I had skin cancer cut out.
Ugh.
So
Really?
It wasn't from Chernobyl, I'm sure.
No, that's probably just the sunshine that you can bask in for most of the year in the US.
Yeah. So what was the other one? Oh, Patrick Murphy asked about separation from Lauren. Yeah, I already talked about it. It was very early on, so you have to rewind and watch it. Or listen.
What's up? Oh.
Simeon says he'll catch a grenade.
Do your balls glow in the dark?
I haven't checked.
By
They might.
Daniel.
They might, but I have not checked.
Have you been flying lately? Have you flown anything? What have you been up to?
I'm embarrassed to say I have not flown, other than the Inductrix, the little Inductrix I fly, because it's just so easy to just throw a battery on and fly it through your house. But I have not flown outside. Well, mainly I've been traveling in the weather and all of that. And I don't fly nearly as much as the guys. I don't have that luxury right now.
Didn't you take up the the sheer opportunity of those guys being wasted to have a little fly of the track and be like, haha, guys, I'm really good. At the moment, I'm better than you.
No, let me tell you, there was an event that I did with Aerial GP way back in the summer of 2015, and they had DJI there, and they were doing their DJI show that they do, and they had Guy the drone
with the little pickup.
Yeah, where you like do all these little tests and that. And I thought, oh, that looked fun. So I wanted to go over and do it. And they bring cameras over, and the host comes over and he's like, Chad Kapper from Flight Test is gonna. And I'm like, no, I don't want an audience. So of course I do my little thing and eventually wreck it. And I like to build, I like to repair. I like to fly things that are easy to fly in front of people. But for the most part, I'm not that great of a pilot.
Yeah, well, you did hit yourself in the head that one time.
Yes,
yeah,
and I did wreck the Phantom in a museum in Ukraine.
Oh man, I remember that. Oh
yeah,
man,
I remember that. I did cringe a little bit when it was just
You?
because of the noise. The
I
bang
felt
was so loud.
I went
oh
well
God.
past.
Did you get kicked out for that?
Yes. They were
Really?
nice about it, but yeah, we got kicked out. They're like, you guys should go now.
What did it do? It hit one of the wires, right? But then did it actually fall and hit part of the actual aircraft, or because it was obviously it was a big bang we heard, but I'm not sure I caught exactly what happened.
Phantom hitting the concrete, but the wing. So what it was I was getting a straight down shot, and obviously I couldn't watch through the camera because of the shot I was getting. So I was watching it line of sight. The problem was there was a big 747. No, it wasn't 747. It was a big airliner. And then on the other side of that was a glider, which I knew it was there, and I knew I was safe of the glider. But what I did not and could not see was there was a very thin cable going down from the ceiling to the glider. So from my vision, it just looked like a clear path. So I was doing my little strafe shot with the camera face down, watching line of sight, and I went straight into the wire. And when it hit the wire, it fell down, hit the wing of the glider, went off of that, hit the propeller blade of a helicopter, and then hit the concrete.
Right.
Did your thumb start twitching even more then?
I think it did. I didn't look that time.
I've got a live grenade.
No, run!
So, and of course the video footage stops like as soon as it hits the wire, because it records in packets and it always loses that last packet. So you don't get to actually see the fall from the camera.
Things we do for the footage, eh?
Oh yeah, but as long as you get the footage, honestly, the moment's priceless. So.
Oh yeah, it was a hugely entertaining episode, and some truly epic footage all around. I think, especially some of those enormous aircraft.
Well, we have so much from Ukraine. We could probably do 6 more episodes, but the problem that we found is people don't like getting stuff late. Like if they feel like it's too dated, they just lose interest. So we had to move on. Now, of course, I'd love to put together a documentary at some point, because we have, I don't even know, probably 10, 12 hours of footage of Dubai. We've got everywhere we've gone, we have just tons and tons of footage. And, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that, we didn't want to release at the time because we didn't want to, make anybody look bad or anything.
It's funny you say
freshly edited, and then at least make it sound new on that level.
Well, it's hard when people's facial hair and haircuts keep changing.
I get it.
So
we have a question from Skynet, who asks, if the USA bans all Chinese products soon, what will you be able to fly?
Whatever we fly now. We will always fly.
Yeah.
Flight Test, you manufacture so much stuff yourself now, right?
Well, I mean, Yeah, but we travel too, you know. So if we travel and find a friend quad and bring it home with us.
Yeah.
What will happen if they do ban all Chinese products? Like,
I don't
surely.
Ban everything. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really think that stuff through. Like, when in our recent history has anything big like that really happened? Like, everybody talks about this stuff. Like, what if this thing? Like, do you guys remember Y2K? All the banks were gonna go.
Oh yeah, I was working in IT at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Were you just collecting money, Joe?
Yeah,
That was all that. All the...
to you. You walk down the street, here, have some money. Just tell me the dates, and the one's not going to end. It won't end.
Well, it's just like, you know, they're afraid the FAA is going to shut everything down. Well, there's too much money to be made, and when there's money to be made, people aren't. They're going to find a way.
If there was no useful commercial or humanitarian aspect to to this stuff, then yeah, they might be banned. But let's face it, there's too much use that can come from it. It can save the environment, save costs, save there's too much to benefit.
Yeah, if I got caught up in all that stuff every time I heard it, or people griped about it, I'd be stuck 6 years ago. But I don't really, until it happens, I just keep doing what I do.
About it then. That seems sensible to me. I think it's incredibly unlikely that all Chinese imports will get in. But and anyway, nothing's going to get banned. They're just going to get tariffs on them. It might get 10 cents more to buy a motor, but I'm sure you'll still get a motor. It's still going to be cheaper to get it from China.
So,
as you know, in England, we're all racists. Because of Brexit.
Well, no, 52%.
Jay's a massive racist, man.
Yeah, he does look like it.
Yeah.
He looks like it. What's a racist look like?
An Australian.
But he'd come over here, take our jobs. Australian. You're a convict. We got rid of you in the first place. I think you just swan on back.
Water ducks back.
Are you cutting a battery open?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Jack
puts a lot of effort.
Paying attention to.
As in, usually when he's on it, he's paying pretty good
It's all
else.
this talk of grenades.
Oh my God!
Jack, as long as it doesn't move your wrists, we're all right.
I think it's like peeling a banana. He's going to eat it in a minute.
Hey,
it's going to burn down like a Samsung phone or a 787.
Richard Smith, or is it Smythe? Chad, what is the future of the hobby? So,
if Chad's got anything to do with
it. What?
If Chad's got anything to do with it, then.
Well, as far as racing, it's definitely going to go bigger. What's going to happen is everybody's going to figure out all the problems and quirks with racing with the little ones. And then once we get all that ironed out and it runs very smoothly, they're just going to start getting bigger and bigger.
Till we can fit people in them.
And then it's the Red Bull Air races.
Well, you already can. You already can.
Yeah, but racing.
I mean, I think it's quite an interesting pastime for the fact that I think even more than medicine and computing, the rate of change of the components is faster than anything else. I mean, it was only like a couple of years ago, Cobra motors are everything, and now they're dead. And I think everything changes so quickly. So the race squads. But it is. I think there's a lot of potential once our batteries are sorted out in this industry. I think that's when we'll start seeing our biggest change of what's possible.
I'd just like to point out, if they're banning all Chinese products and stuff, Chad's going in the right way.
Here,
employing
Jack, not here.
No, child labour. Child labour. He's put Banny in charge.
Right. Good point. Yeah.
Well, I think he's old enough to work now, so
my son shoots and edits the episodes, so
you've got issues, man. I see a child having fun. I don't like it. Oi, get to work.
Get to work.
I swear to God, if Luke Bannister appears in a video as some sort of like coal mining boy, I'm just gonna be like, Chad, you're one dark man.
Hey, we have 3 downvotes now. 3 dislikes.
Swine. You're taking it quite. Are we? We've only got. Hang on. Let me refresh.
Oh,
You're
they're
taking
just
that to heart.
voting everything.
This is my
4.
favorite
I've got
question.
4.
So Clegger M says, how are Rotor Riot episodes planned? Weeks, months in advance? All sit down and chat about ideas, or do you just go and grab footage from there? Pretty much go with the flow. We try to plan, but pretty much just shoot from the hip, ask questions later.
And I guess when you do plan like a trip to Ukraine, you end up with too much, clearly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, we did plan the trip, but we still didn't plan the content. It was like the Duga dive wasn't planned at all. Yeah. And it's funny because, yeah, I mean, we try. The harder you try to plan, the worse it gets. I mean, the drunk droning episode, we tried to plan that. It did not turn out like we. It was a mess.
But do you find that the content that you create, if you're not trying too hard, just flows better, or do you find that?
Yeah, definitely.
Why did you add Swarm to Rotor Riot?
Stingy?
Yeah.
Because he's awesome. He has always been extremely helpful. He's more on time than the rest of the guys. He's
a commercial pilot, so he's got my respect straight away.
Frankly, he's and don't tell the other guys, but he had my favorite channel. Like, I enjoyed his channel
more than anyone else. Just say that bit at the end. More than anyone else.
No, I'm not saying it.
I like them all, honestly.
I know they're not going to listen to this because they're not.
They will. We'll send them a... No, we won't.
Chad will definitely listen to this.
No, he only listens to things he's on.
They've got to get to.
Is that the case for them all?
Oh, he might get confused and think it's him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Chad. Yeah, just take out the rest. Just put with Chad. Change the title.
But sorry, Stinger Storm. He's a commercial pilot as well, isn't he? So
Yes,
he's a tremendous resource for understanding, you know, the intricacies of fluid dynamics and, understanding better how propellers work and prop wash and what have you. Because those guys, you know, it's years and years of studying these things, and yeah, I think he's a tremendous resource for that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, and don't short sell Chad Nowak too. You know, he's a glider pilot and he's quite into fluid dynamics. So he obsesses over the technical aspect of aviation.
Yeah,
so
it's a fascinating subject.
If you had a pilot's license in the US, you have a bypass to get your commercial. What's your
Part 107?
Yeah. Is that the case? If you're a pilot, you can bypass a lot of the training and get that easily, or?
Well, you still have to take the test.
Interesting.
I haven't done it.
CIA,
Tommy and Steele both have their 107.
in the UK, the CAA do state that if you're making any money off of your videos on YouTube, technically you should have a commercial license.
Now, here's the interesting thing, and this is what I like about Rotor Riot. It is not illegal for me to air people's videos. And if Rotor Riot is airing the video,
not pay them for it.
No, and we don't. Like, people make money through other routes, through sponsorships.
So you broke up with them then.
Yeah, so technically we're completely legal.
You're just a platform.
Yep.
For law breaking.
But anything you shot under the Rotor Riot name, that is not without having.
What law have we broken?
No. I mean, you help others.
We help others to break the law.
Child labour. I'm sure that's a law.
Oh yeah. There's that heading on the way.
But what's the FAA care about that?
Good point.
Illegal immigrants, David and Chad Nowak.
Oh wow. This is going to be submitted in court, isn't it?
Really?
Usually anything pushed up when Jack opens his mouth, it usually goes to a court case somewhere.
Anything that comes out of Jack's mouth is like totally insurmountable. Like, you know what I mean? It just gets thrown out. Do you know, like, we do not want him here. You know, like, no one's going to import me. All they're going to do is want to export me. Then, like, you know, I am bad news.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't try and claim asylum in the US at the moment, Jack.
No, child. I live in Brighton. And I've got long hair. Like, you know, I'm more hippie than Jay at the moment.
I don't know about that.
Jay,
Jack.
have you had a haircut?
No, Jack's trying to be more hippie than I.
Is this a hippie off?
Yeah.
It happens a lot in Brighton.
He's a lot more beardy than I am.
Yeah. Have you started to grow beard yet, Jack? Is it starting to come through yet?
I might need to. Like, Chad might put me to work if I don't.
That's true. Oh wait, here. I didn't even realize I can like it. See, I'm used to not hitting the like button because I'm looking at the Rotor Riot show, and I don't want to show.
Oh my God!
You don't like your own stuff.
Oh, by the way, can everyone subscribe to Jay because he's a pussy ass bitch and like wants more subscribers?
Right,
What's your channel? Get Chad to subscribe to your channel, please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
If you'll do that, Chad, can you do me this favor? Then
I will subscribe right now.
Because like I don't display my subscribers. No one knows how many subscribers I have or haven't got.
26.
Like, yeah, that's how many I've got.
Wait, I need the link. Where's the link?
I put it in the main chat. I tell you what, I'll pop it in.
Okay. Oh, there.
The truth is, I mean, I've been a fan of YouTube since it started, and that I think I've grown with it. And it's always funny seeing people come along and just shoot right to the top, and you think, wow. But YouTube's amazing it's our platform for sharing our flights and our inspiration.
Wait, it says it's unavailable. Hold on, let me search.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that, Jay. That's the moral high ground. Look who's laughing now. I give you an opportunity, and Jesus has prevented you from.
Yeah, it's like I must not earn money. I just must accept everything that comes. No.
There's a question in the comments here from Back Corner Quads, which says, what was the worst episode to make? I guess across either of the channels, was there one particular that you found, really stuck in your head as a...
Well, for Flight Test, absolutely. It will go down in my life history as the most difficult episode ever, and it was the mid-air package exchange. So we wanted to fly 2 wings, and actually, no, it wasn't 2 wings. I'm sorry. Well, we tried various versions of it, but we did the EPP FPV and a wing, and we tried to exchange a package midair, which does not sound that complicated. You're like, oh, you just put a little magnet on it, and you come up close, and it'll attach to it, and blah, blah, blah. But what you don't take into account is all the vortices and turbulence and everything coming off of everything. So every time you get close, you're trying to make micro adjustments. And of course, everything goes like this. And we came close a couple of times, but we probably tried to shoot the actual exchange part of it 5 different times. And we probably have more hours of footage of attempting that than anything, and we never.
What did you use to actually film the exchange? Was that done with a quadcopter, or where was the point of view of that?
Back in the day?
No, it was GoPros on the aircrafts themselves.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to remember if
you've got a 36-minute long viewer response video.
What is it?
Viewer. It says mid-air package exchange viewer response.
Oh,
is that people telling you what you should have done?
I didn't even remember that episode. I'm really bad. One of my stories that I remember when we were right in the middle of kind of a growth spurt in Flight Test was I went to Josh and David and I was telling them, we have to do the build video for the one of our products. And it was one that I designed. I think it was the AnyHub or the Anycopter or something. And I'm like, we got to get that episode done. We got to get it out. And their boat they stopped and looked at me like, what are you talking about? They're like, you want to do another one? I'm like, what do you mean another one? They're like, we already did it. You did it. You were the one doing it. So I actually did a whole instructional video. And by the next week, I completely forgot I did it.
Wow. I know how you feel. That sort of thing happens to me all the time.
That's through alcohol, though, isn't it, Adam?
Not even that much anymore. I'm just old and tired.
So are you
Yeah,
going to go to the school over in the US then when they start this school to learn to FPV then, Adam? I think we should send you the little test subject.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Guinea pig.
I'm only going. Like last time I went to America though, and I get 3 seats to myself. Oh, that was wonderful.
Were you on Southwest?
No,
That might have not been a nice thing.
no, it was Virgin on the way out, and whoever they code share with on the way back.
So, Chad, is there any plans to come over to the Europe side of the world? In the near
Definitely. I would love to get over there this spring.
future? Ah, good.
Come over, please.
Our biggest thing, we've had to cut back on we overspent big time in 2016 because we funded all our own trips, and then a couple of times we were told someone else would fund it. We did it, and then we didn't get funded, so we ended up spending a lot more money than we had expected to. So really, I mean, that's the big thing. If we can get our travel covered, we'll go just about anywhere. I mean, we probably would.
You got
go
hornswoggled.
anywhere. What?
You got hornswoggled. Tricked. Rused.
It wasn't. One time, yes. The other time, it wasn't. It was just an unfortunate situation to where they couldn't. So they thought they could and then couldn't.
Oh,
So I guess that's it. Bye.
Sorry,
no, I was just like, what
Jack
the hell?
is on your snacks again. You can't leave now because someone called Leo FPV is going Chad in the chat. So
Oh,
I think that's
wait.
more Chad.
I am now subscribed to ChipGo.
Hey, thanks, Chad.
Yes,
Much
sir.
appreciated.
me too, Jay.
Ah,
Oh, wait. So who said Chad? Leo FPV. What's up?
That might be
That's
it.
it.
He's very excited about your name, especially the last letter.
So it's not Chad, it's Chad.
Yeah, but it's hard. That was hardest to
it's a
say.
stutter. It's a stutter,
Yeah.
maybe.
Sup, Chadical.
I like it.
What was your favorite thing on flight test?
On flight test or Rotor Riot? Flight test.
Yeah, flight test.
I have a lot of favorites. I loved when Josh and I built the plane for the flying brick. That was just magical, because that was like one of the first big crazy things we did. Now flight test, it's expected that they're going to do stuff. But I have to say one of my favorite moments personally, I don't know if it really translates through the camera, but when David and I were doing the Ready to Fly Quads review or test, and we were sitting in my truck and it was like minus 15 degrees and we're both flying multi-rotors. That's probably one of my favorite moments. I still feel bad though, because Dave Knopp had to stand out in the cold and shoot while we're in my truck and it's got the heater on.
So I've got a question. Between your sort of military time and flight test, what was your, what were you doing with yourself that, I mean, looking at your flight test videos, they sort of immediately look very professional. Was there some background there in cinematography or,
well, yeah,
working in TV, or where's that side of it come into play?
So the military was right out of high school. So that was 91 to 95. I started a video production company in 1998, and then flight test wasn't until 2010. So I had over a decade of building my video production company and doing corporate work and marketing and TV commercials. And so,
so really strong background in that area.
Yeah. So marketing and video production and all of that is really, I still have more years of that under my belt than anything.
Right. And was there anything specifically that you were working in that side of things that has any kind of links to the hobby side of it, or was it just you you just took those tools and decided, no, this hobby is my passion. I'm now going to apply it to that.
Yeah, it was more the latter. The hobby really, like, I didn't have a client that was RC based or anything. I just, in high school, I always wanted to get into RC planes, but I didn't have the money, and it was so unapproachable. So at one point, I got, in 2010, I got my company to the point to where it was pretty self-sufficient, and I was able to, I don't know why. I don't know. Oh, I know why. Because the air hogs at Walmart, they sold the little, 2 propeller jet planes. My son and I bought a pair of those. They were $29 a piece. And I thought, oh, wow, the hobby's still around. I should look back into it. And I just figured, well, I got some time. I got some money. Let me venture into it. And the very first real one that I got was an EDF jet. And I took it out in the backyard and promptly destroyed it harshly. So, and that made me sick to my stomach. I felt so sick.
There's no feeling like it. Having spent many years, probably well over a decade, doing helicopters before quads, there's nothing like the walk of shame.
Oh yeah,
and regret to pick up many pieces of your aircraft.
That was probably.
It never stops happening, does it?
No.
But they were the 2 coolest things, jets and helicopters, yet the 2 most expensive things to have to build and repair and the easiest to crash.
Yeah, and the hardest to fly.
Yeah.
So I just, I guess my profession was video production, and my new hobby that I was passionate about was radio control. And
when you say it was kind of early on, it was unapproachable. What made it unapproachable for you?
Well, the old fogies that, weren't friendly and made it seem, they all bragged about how expensive everything was. It took me 2 years to build this plane and $20,000. And I'm like, I don't even know what the first step is to that.
That's really interesting. So I think that's a very different thing for different people. I mean, my experience was from when I was 4 years old, and I literally dragged my father down because it was down to the local field where the model club was, just because I'd been with him driving past, seen them out of a window and said, Dad, please take me over there to look at them. And
Right.
At the time, it was one of those things where they were actually very welcoming and accommodating, and said, here's a. I remember being handed my first sort of buddy box experience, and this is going back a really long way. And it was a really welcoming experience for me. But it sounds like it was kind of the polar opposite for you.
Yeah, I didn't even know that existed. It was definitely the hobby shop that we have locally. I mean, my wife went in there once to buy me a birthday gift, and she goes, "I am never going back there." She said,
Wow.
they thrive on making you feel stupid, and I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, I guess there's always going to have that area of the hobby where you get people like that are a little bit elitist and.
There's one next to Brighton, where there's no reason to make anyone think it's just America. There's that flight circuit.
No, it's just my town.
I wonder how many times I wonder how many times I've had to say, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to refund your money because the plane crashed of your own accord, not the actual faulty components." That's probably where they get it all from, and therefore they just treat everyone as stupid. It's a shame.
Well, the thing is, though, with business, when you have something occur 5 times in a row, well, then that's the norm. And you need, if you're going to cater to an audience, or a customer, you need to accept that. And that's the thing that really frustrates me about.
I think it's weird when the shops are like it, but I think that there are a lot of other people. It's not just the businesses. It's the it's the hobbyists who have flown planes for many years and do not relish a quad world. Not necessarily you, but
no, I think like it comes back to the clubs, like we were saying earlier. Sometimes that's all they've known, and they haven't actually gone into it.
Have you checked if you read some of the rules of some of the various different clubs? And I did this recently for an article for the drone magazine. It was, and the main thrust was, you will have more fun from your drone if you join a club. That said, here are some clubs to avoid joining. Because There were some that definitely did not want
should
to
have
meet anyone
misspelled it.
with a quad.
But I mean,
Here's
multi-road.
some cults to avoid.
Yeah.
They've only been around for like to a point where people have started to build them and fly them for 6 years, 5-6 years now. And a lot of these clubs have only just started to actually accept people from outside the club. So eventually they'll all die off, and I think it'll be much better going.
That's right. Yeah, most of them are old. They'll die soon. Good thinking.
But because before I actually started flying multi-rotor, I joined a club up where I was living, and I've been back there a few times since. And a lot of them, it was pretty much a plane-only club, and then it got to the helis. But I was shocked to actually see people with quads there, and actually had to fly with someone with quads there. So even in that, which wasn't too cliquey, it wasn't too old-fashioned, but it took a while for them to change, and changes are inevitable. And I think it's a shame that we're saying this now, and people might not even give their local club a chance, when really we should be trying to get them down to the local clubs if they've not flown anything ever before. It's a shame that they need to change with us.
Or there's clubs like, say, the Waltham Forest one might have some slightly negative sounding things, but you never know. They might actually be rather nicer if you get that. You know, people don't update their websites or their rules all the time.
I don't know. I've got, like, the BMFA near me, airfield. I got 2 of them. Has been there for quite some time. The other one, who I get along with very well, slightly better, is banned. So
that field is one that I do not think that quads are particularly welcome when pilots are there.
That's our local AMA, the BMFA.
Yeah, I mean, I think the heli guys can only fly on a Sunday till 11 o'clock if they live near a river.
They only have 3
their
toes.
mum's name isn't Janine, and they filed their tax return form before April the 2nd.
Yeah.
And they're friends with Jack on Facebook.
Yeah,
you can't forget that.
Yeah, you can't be friends with me on Facebook. I don't know. Jared, have you got any questions for us? Have you ever listened to, like, Let's Drone It Out? Have you got any, like, advice to make this better? You know, because this must be the most unprofessional thing you've ever been on.
I
Less
like,
Doritos.
What?
More child labour.
I like people that are genuine and sincere. That's what I love about this. My only advice is to stay, consistent. Like, just what I've noticed with both Flight Test and Rotor Riot.
Well, stay consistent. I can't do 8 o'clock. Can you push it back to 8:30?
Jack.
High five.
Not that. No, Jack, you were saying, sorry, before Jack really interrupted in an unprofessional manner.
But consistent.
I'm not talking about make everything.
He likes that.
When I say consistent, I mean every week, do it and let people count on it. Once you get to like a year of consistency, people realize, okay, you're here to stay and you do care, and and this, you are passionate about this. And I think, how long have you been doing it now?
Over a year, about a year and 3 or 4 months, maybe.
Yeah. So
late summer.
Are you noticing anything different in the past few months?
We keep on losing Tony.
Tony now hates me.
I think what we're getting more engagement now.
Yeah, we're really falling out.
Actually, and it's good to actually see the regulars coming to the chat in the YouTube, because I think that's always good for us to know that we're not just doing it so that we may get listened to later. It's always good to see the people. And hello.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to, is that you'll start to get more regular engagement, because a year is kind of like that. Oh wow, you're serious and you're really gonna take this all the way, and I think that's important.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Sorry,
Yeah.
That HPI guy at Evening Man.
Texting. Someone's being like, on my phone, guess who this is? And they're like, you've got 3 hints. And I'm like,
won't you have the hint of their name in your phone database? Or have they just found out?
No, nothing. Yeah.
No.
Search for it on everything. No. I'm literally getting tormented by a nutcase on my phone.
All right, share it all with but Jack, put it down. Put the battery down.
Actually, I could put the number
Yeah, put the
on
number
the
straight
chat
into the
and
chat.
everyone phone and chat. Yeah, I'll put the number in. Hang on.
Actually, it's more impressive
Yeah,
if
carry
the call
on.
comes from the US though. Because
It's
then
not. I don't know who it is.
wow,
Someone's.
who's that?
Yeah,
I think we
Leo's
we might ought to start thinking about heading towards the end of the show now. Where
yeah, it's 57.
2 hours.
Oh wow, my battery's going to die too, and I don't have my charger. So we have 16%
Can
left.
I ask what's behind you? It looks like a Commodore PET.
Which one?
It looks
Who?
like behind you, Chad,
TV,
it looks
the
like a
monitor.
Commodore PET. Oh, it's an old school
It's an
TV.
old TV.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, let's see that.
Is that the one from the flight test
Oh.
intros?
No, I have a
No.
bunch of these.
Do you do that for your color correction on your videos?
I buy these every time I see an old TV like this. I buy it. I have a bunch of them.
Well, ironically, they're used a lot in video, aren't they? Because they give much better color reproduction than a LCD or any other flat panel.
Those?
And that's
No.
why they're still very. Yeah, well, maybe not that one, but
Yeah,
I know
not
they
that
used
one.
for that.
Yeah,
same.
a Sony Trinitron from the towards the end of the.
Oh,
Yeah.
it even has dials that you have to turn.
Yeah, I just knocked the dial off. I fired that one up.
Old tech like that then.
I wanted to see if there were any analog.
I love how there's a Nerf gun as well. Like you can tell he's ex-mil. He's
There's-
like, I can't sleep. I've got my
Oh yeah, all ex-military people have Nerf guns.
Just imagine Jackson.
Yeah.
You shoot your screen and pretend you're shooting Jack Frizz.
I don't have any Nerf darts in it.
Tony
yes.
Tony will probably masturbate to
Come
that
on.
later. The
This
thought
one's
of anyone killing me.
Wait, now we're talking.
There we go. This one's better.
Yeah.
This one has a laser sight. Do you see it?
Oh
And
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
awesome.
When did kids get laser sights on toys?
It's just a little LED.
They're not fake.
Now I want
They
to play.
need more efficient killing.
Hey, that's my next channel. I want to start another channel this year. I've already registered it. It's called nerfhero.com.
Ooh. And when can we start seeing things
Subscribe.
on this then?
I don't know. I haven't even started anything. All I did was register the name. I
We're
did.
going to see you.
I
Running
would
around
like
and
to
being
see
a
the
spy.
first aerially launched bombardment.
Of Nerf bullets.
I
Yeah,
did.
Why
spy.
did you?
I
What?
think it's called
You did.
carpet bombing.
You know, we did a on flight test. We did a what do we call
BB
it?
one.
What?
The BB airplane where you were shooting each other with BB
No, that
paintball.
was cool. But we did a aerial. What do we call it? Guided bomb.
Oh yeah, no, when it with bacon.
You bombed
Hold on.
bacon.
It's right here.
The
So-
breakfast drop.
FPV guided bomb project.
Yeah, that how when I imagine if I would upload that and title it exactly the same today, what would happen?
You'd get in trouble. Not in
But
trouble,
it's
but,
funny.
you'd get some annoying. You'd get some annoying attention.
Yes. Here, if anybody, I can leave the link if people want to see it. That's one of my favorites. Oh no, it won't let me
Oh, it's
Why?
because I'm not a moderator.
Oh, hang on. No, yeah. Comment.
Here,
hang on.
I'll put it in here and then you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Comment.
Oh.
Just write a normal
If you recommend
comment,
it,
and
then
I'll
we can promote you.
thing you. Just,
In what?
Just write. Yeah. Put something in the
Alright,
chat,
it's
and then I'll mod you
Oh, okay.
in the other chat. Yeah. So just write Jack's a bum, and then
I just type mod.
hang on.
Oh, I get to be a mod. Oh, look, Adam.
yeah,
already
hang
posted it. Look at that. Thanks, Adam.
There you
and
go.
Leo. Thank you, Leo FPV. Thank you, Jay.
He told someone to write it, so I had to do it.
There you go. Rotor Riot is now a moderator,
Nice.
so now you can.
You can call Jack a butt. But
There's going to
it's-
be more.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Richard. Jack's a butt.
Ass. Jackson ass.
Yeah. Loads of people like write stuff. Jack's ass. Jackass. Tony hates me. I
one's
hate Tony.
Tony?
Have you spoken to him, by the way?
No, Tony's still not talking to me.
Oh,
I tried messaging him, and he's like, "Go away."
I mean, you're probably fully aware that there's always different characters that come on these shows, and you always have to manage them different ways. We're still learning how to manage ourselves.
I
Yeah.
am Jack's complete lack of surprise.
very, very, very good.
I am Jack's what?
Complete lack of surprise.
It's from Fight Club.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah. Breakfast.
That's probably
I am Jack's medulla oblongata.
my top 5, probably within the top 5, definitely top 10 favorite movies.
Yeah, yeah.
So Leo asks whether
There'd be something wrong with you if it wasn't.
Yeah. Well, Kubrick will take up at least 5 slots in my top 10. So
Doctor Strangelove.
I don't know if that one quite makes it, but Full Metal Jacket.
I really do like it. Full Metal Jacket is amazing. My problem with The Shining is I saw it too late. Like a lot of films really embed themselves if you see them quite early on, I think.
But doesn't it feel fairly timeless? Like it almost feels,
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying I didn't actually see it the first time until a couple of years ago. And that
so
meant
very
that
recent.
it didn't sort of settle in as being one of the best film,
Yeah.
Whereas things like The Shawshank Redemption, whereas I'm not sure it's that good, but I still think it's one of the best films.
No, Shawshank is absolutely good. You have to say that.
I don't.
Do you know what
it really is?
Yeah, it is.
It is, but it's sort of. Is it?
No, it is. It is.
Okay.
It's
Still, well, I think any movie I've seen twice and I still enjoy it the second time is a good movie, and that was.
Oh yeah.
That's a fair.
I have a
Have
little
you ever
for my son. Where he has to watch all these. We just watched Road to Perdition the other day.
I've not seen that.
What were you gonna say, Jack?
Don't worry, it's fine.
Hey, somebody.
The Italian Job, the good Italian Job. As a non-British person, maybe you won't think that's the best film ever, but.
Andy
Oh,
Dufresne.
God. What's the name of a film with Mad World at the end of it?
Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko. Do you know what really annoyed me was like if you miss the post-it note on the fridge, you don't realise it's his sister. Dating.
You're
Frank.
listening to Let's Film Out. Currently, we have.
We talk about a subject that isn't drones for more than 2 minutes, and somebody goes mental.
It's usually either lawnmowers or some other.
It's
Wait. Hold on, we can cross this over. Got it. FPV said you should make an RR movie, and here's actually something I've been thinking about doing. I've been talking about it almost since we started Rotor Riot. I want to do an episodic fictional series about the guys and their experiences in this hobby and in racing, but it's fictional, but it's them playing versions of themselves.
As in to reference them in reality, but still fictional.
Yes.
Okay, so whatever.
And it would be episodic, so it would be ongoing, and you would have you would have other entities like people in the industry, and they would have like almost the same name, but it would be different.
And maybe you could have a guest writing from different people that write for different episodes.
Absolutely. I think it would be awesome.
What are the guys who wrote Friends up to these days?
Hopefully nothing.
Still enjoying their money, I think.
Suicide.
Who's Tucker Gott? Should I know that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ron.
Tucker Gott there. Collaboration.
You need to fly the salt planes and mess up everyone's quads in rainy. Keep telling you to do that. That would be amazing. When it rains and the salt planes. That's how. What's his name? Oh God. Who's the idiot with the drones?
Oz.
No, bigger idiot.
Blogger.
Dickhead. Yeah.
I know who you mean.
What's his name?
Country, Jack. Which country?
American, New
America.
York based, flies lots of drones into New York, doesn't care about them, has a big one that follows him around while he's skiing.
Casey Neistat.
Neistat. Is
Yeah.
that it?
How he got the white around his glasses was the salt from the salt planes driving The cars in rainy season goes
Really?
like a mirror.
See, I always thought that sand was worse than salt because it's more coarse. And the number of times I've tried to fish sand out of my motors.
But salt will be corrosive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But surely it should be him trying to fish fists out of his eye sockets. Oh, sorry. Bit too far, obviously.
I have 7% left.
Right, we're going to take it down.
We better
to
say
1%.
goodbye
Don't worry about
properly
that.
so we can.
I don't know what that
No
means.
worries. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. You've been listening to Let's Drone On. You've been joined by our fabulous hosts, Adam Juniper.
Hello. And goodbye.
Hello. And Jay Chipko.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Everyone subscribe and YouTube, youtube.com. Hi, my name's Chipko. Subscribe all the time.
I'll give giveaways as well. So
the sexy NJ Tech, please check out his latest video where he does a little dance for me. And our Lord and Master, Chad Kapper. Chad, can we do a sticker swap? Can you message me your address so I can post you some stickers? And then can I have some stickers? I really want a Rotor Riot sticker, want a flight test sticker. I'd love a flight test lanyard. And that's it. That's all I want.
I'll get you a big old care package.
Jack won't really send
and a picture of your mum as well, just so I can put it on the wall.
No.
Be like, everyone's like, who's that? And I'm like, that's Chad Kapper's mum. She made modern day Jesus, electric Jesus.
What is wrong with you?
Wow, he managed to get.
We ask ourselves the same thing every single week, Chad. We ask ourselves that same question.
I'm just gonna send him a random picture of a woman.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I think he prefers the older aged women.
I do quite like electric Jesus.
That's why I hang out with Tony. He's matured like a fine wine. Sorry, NJ.
No,
what were you saying?
he's matured like a fine wine if you leave the lid off and leave it out next to an oven.
Oh, I'll tell him you said that.
Well, he might listen.
What? Who keeps texting me?
Him.
It's Tony. Tony's got a new burner phone from somewhere and he's just calling it.
So weird. Arguing with me about drinking or not. I don't know. All right, thank you. And
Chad,
good night.
you've been a wonderful guest. Thank you so much.
You.
Hey, thank you guys. I'd love to come back. So
Well,
It's
let us know when you're in London.
I should be this spring. I really want to try to put that together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Stay in
We'll,
Brighton.
Stay in London.
Brighton.
Yeah.
You
I don't know
can
how
fly
far
in Brighton.
I don't even know.
No one cares. You can get a ride anywhere. Everyone loves you.
Hey.
You're like, I'm Chad Kapper.
Okay, well, this is getting weird. So let's.
Thanks,
Jack,
guys.
you have the power to end this.
Yeah.